Something wasn't right. I could feel it in the way she texted, brief, cold, calculated. Brooke used to text me with little hearts at the end, or those long, rambling voice notes about something she saw at the grocery store. Now it was just, "'Kay, cool. Can't talk." The kind of responses you'd give a stranger. I tried not to let it bother me at first. Maybe she was just stressed. Work had been hectic for her lately. Late meetings, new clients. But when she mentioned the bachelorette trip to Miami, her whole vibe shifted. It wasn't just stress. It was something else. She was excited, buzzing in a way I hadn't seen in months. Not with me, at least. "You deserve it," I told her that morning, watching her pack 2 mini swimsuits for a 3-day trip. "You and the girls go have fun." I meant it. Or I thought I did. She barely looked up, stuffing a black 2-piece into her luggage. "Thanks, babe," she said, not even pausing to kiss me. Just a half smile and a quick glance. Like I was the guy helping her carry her bags, not the man she'd promised forever to. I told myself it was fine. Girls' trips are normal. Bachelorette parties are wild. Sure, but not dangerous. Not threatening. Brooke wasn't the type to go chasing trouble. At least, I didn't think she was. That night, I poured myself a bourbon and sat on the couch scrolling Netflix, waiting for her to text me when she landed. I checked my phone twice, then 4 times. Still nothing. I sent her a message around 10:15. "Me, you get an okay?" No reply. I waited 30 minutes. Then an hour. I felt something dark begin to coil inside my chest. I texted again. "Me, everything good?" And then, this was the moment, it hit me. My message didn't go through. At first I thought it was a signal thing. Maybe she was on airplane Wi-Fi, and it was being weird. I clicked on our conversation and saw that cold, gray circle spinning where her photo used to be. Her name was still there, but the icon was gone. I opened her contact, hit message, and saw the red warning. "Your message cannot be delivered. This contact may have blocked you." My heart skipped. No, that had to be a mistake. A glitch. She wouldn't block me. Why would she block me? I tried to call. Straight to voicemail. My palms were sweating. I checked the Wi-Fi. Full bars. I called again. Same result. Panic isn't always instant. It creeps in, starts low in your spine, then climbs. I could feel it taking hold as I stared at my screen like it had betrayed me. Blocked. I checked our last messages again. The last one she sent was earlier that morning. "Boarding now. Should land around 8. That was it. Nothing since. Something inside me fractured. I wasn't just confused, I was angry. Scared. Betrayed. Even though I had no proof of anything yet. That's when I remembered Tara. Brooke's best friend. The maid of honor. The one who'd posted endless group selfies leading up to the trip. I scrolled through my contacts and hit her name before I could second guess it. It rang twice. Then 3 times. "Hello." Tara's voice was cautious, like she already knew this wasn't just a casual call. "Tara, hey. Sorry to bother you. Have you heard from Brooke?" There was a beat of silence on the line. Then, "Yeah, she's here." "Why?" "She blocked me," I said, my voice cracking on the word. "Or something's wrong with her phone. I don't know." More silence. Then a low breath. "Oh, her phone died, I think." "You think?" "Well, it was acting up earlier. She said she'd left her charger somewhere. You know how she is on trips, completely scatterbrained." I knew Brooke wasn't scatterbrained. That was never her. She was meticulous. She had backups for her backups. "Okay," I said slowly, trying to sound calm. "So she's with you? Everything's okay?" "Yeah, totally," Tara said too quickly. "She's just out with the girls right now. Lot of dancing, shots, you know. Miami." The forced laugh she gave sent chills down my spine. I didn't believe her. "You're sure?" "She's fine, Ethan. Just relax. It's a party weekend, not a big deal." I thanked her and hung up, but I didn't feel reassured. I felt lied to. My mind started spinning scenarios. Was her phone really dead? Was she really out dancing? Why hadn't she told me? Why block me? I opened Instagram. Searched her profile. Private. No longer following you. That was the moment I realized something had shifted in a way I couldn't explain away. She had intentionally cut me off. My wife, the woman who used to text me goodnight even when we were in the same house, had gone dark, and I was standing in the middle of the silence she left behind. I didn't sleep that night. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, phone in hand, screen lighting up every time I checked for a message that never came. Around 2:47 a.m., a notification popped up. Tara, don't worry. She's fine. 3 words. They weren't comforting. They were ominous. Because if everything was fine, why the hell did it feel like my whole world was starting to come apart? I stared at Tara's message for a long time. Don't worry. She's fine. No punctuation. No emoji. Nothing that resembled the bright, bubbly Tara I'd grown to trust over the years. It didn't feel like comfort. It felt like a warning. What kind of person sends a message like that at nearly 3 in the morning? It wasn't just odd. It was suspicious. My heart was still pounding from earlier, and that text only made it worse. She hadn't followed up, hadn't elaborated. It was like someone told her to say it. Or worse, like she was covering for something. I typed out a dozen responses, deleted all of them. Finally, I settled on. Me. Thanks. Let me know if you see her. Read. No reply. I didn't sleep. Not really. I drifted in and out of restless dreams where Brooke's face blurred into someone else's. In one of them, I saw her dancing under neon lights, laughing, her eyes locked on a man I couldn't see clearly. When I tried to step into the frame, she looked right past me like I wasn't there. By the time morning crept through the blinds, my mouth was dry and my chest felt hollow. I checked her Instagram again, still private, still not following me. My texts were still blocked. I tried calling one more time, and it rang once before jumping to voicemail. A glimmer of hope sparked in me, but it fizzled instantly. Voicemail. Again. After showering, I paced the kitchen with coffee I didn't drink, waiting for something. A message. A call. A sign this was all a misunderstanding. But it never came. At 10:42 a.m., I caved and called Tara. She answered on the second ring. Hey, she said groggy. Ethan. Yeah, sorry. Did I wake you? Kind of, she mumbled. Late night. We didn't get back until almost 4. I tried to keep my voice steady. I didn't mean to bother you again. Can you tell Brooke I've been trying to reach her? I don't know what's going on. She blocked me. She unfollowed me. This isn't like her. There was a long pause. I know, Tara said finally. It's weird. She said her phone died, and then we were out most of the night, and she just didn't feel like dealing with anything. Dealing with what? I asked. Tara hesitated. I mean, she didn't want to be distracted. You know how it is. Loud clubs. Bad reception. Plus, she was drinking. A lot. She blocked me. I said flatly. Tara sighed. I don't know what to tell you, Ethan. Maybe she hit something by mistake. Or maybe she just needed space. I clenched my jaw. Space from me. No, she rushed. Not like that. Just space from, like home. Real life. The whole point of this trip was to let loose. She's been really stressed lately. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her. But her voice had this edge, this uncertainty that didn't sound rehearsed. It sounded afraid. Not of me. Of something else. Something she wasn't saying. Is she there? I asked. Can I talk to her? Another pause. Longer this time. She's still asleep, Tara said. She passed out in the other room. Didn't even change out of her clothes. I didn't know what to say to that. Tara softened her voice. Look, I promise she's okay. She just needed to blow off some steam. She could have told me that. I muttered. I know, Tara said. I think she's trying to figure things out. That hit me harder than I expected. Figure what out? Ethan, she sighed. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. No, say it. She's been distant, you know? You've noticed it. Yeah, I whispered. I have. Tara went quiet for a moment, then added, I'm not saying anything's wrong. Just give her time. Let the weekend play out. When she gets back, you two can talk. Talk. Like we hadn't already tried that. Like I hadn't been begging for some kind of connection for weeks, maybe months. Okay, I said finally. Thanks, Tara. Really. No problem, she said, her voice gentle now. I'll tell her to call you. She didn't. That night, I sat in the living room again. This time, I didn't even pretend to be interested in Netflix. I just scrolled, checking for any sign of Brooke, any tagged posts, any stories, anything. At 11:13 p.m., a message popped up. Tara, don't worry. She's fine. Again, exactly the same message. No context. No explanation. Not even a variation. It wasn't just eerie, it was insulting. I stared at it for a long time, my mind racing. Was it really from Tara? Or had Brooke told her to send it? Was she laughing while they wrote it? Was this some kind of game? I checked Tara's profile. Her story was still up, dimly lit clips of a rooftop bar, flashes of colored lights, laughter, people dancing. In one frame, I could see Brooke twirling a drink, her head tilted back, laughing at something someone just said. Her eyes sparkled. Her smile was real. But I wasn't in that world anymore. I wasn't in any part of her life anymore. And something told me, deep in my gut, that whatever was happening down there wasn't just about space or stress. It was about someone else. I didn't want to admit it, not yet. But the signs weren't subtle anymore. They were screaming. And the silence between Brooke and me had never been louder. Sunday mornings used to be ours. Pajamas until noon. Coffee on the porch. Her legs across my lap while we talked about everything and nothing. But this morning, all I had was silence. I woke up to an empty bed, though I hadn't expected anything else. Brooke was still in Miami. Still figuring things out. Still ignoring every message I sent. I didn't text her again. I didn't call. What was the point? My pride was in shambles already. I wasn't about to keep begging to be acknowledged by the woman who used to whisper "I love you" in my ear before I even opened my eyes. But Tara, I couldn't shake the unease around her. She'd been polite, but guarded. Concerned, but withholding. That second "don't worry, she's fine" message still burned in the back of my skull. Identical words, hours apart. No context. No warmth. Just a placeholder for the truth. Around 10 a.m., I gave in and texted her. Me. Thanks again for your help the other night. I appreciate you keeping me in the loop. She replied 5 minutes later. Tara, of course. Sorry again about all this. It's been a weird weekend. Weird. It wasn't the word I wanted. It wasn't the word I needed. But it was the first time she'd said anything that even remotely hinted at what was really going on. Me. Weird how? Another pause. Then, Tara. Just different. Brooke's different. It's like she's trying to be someone else. My stomach twisted. Me? What do you mean? She didn't answer right away. I stared at the blinking 3 dots that appeared, then disappeared, then came back again. Tara, can I call you in a bit? It's hard to explain. I didn't hesitate. Me? Yes. Anytime. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Hey, Tara said softly. Her voice was quieter than usual, almost as if she was somewhere she didn't want to be overheard. Hey, I replied, swallowing the nervous lump in my throat. I'm in the hotel bathroom, she said, almost laughing. Classy, I know, but I didn't want the others hearing. Is Brooke there? No, she's still asleep. She didn't even make it back to the room until, 6 in the morning. I think she was with some guy. The words landed like a gut punch. What? I don't know for sure, Tara said quickly, as if trying to catch the pieces as they fell. But she came in wearing a hoodie that's not hers, smelled like cologne, and had this weird glow. She didn't say anything, just stripped and climbed into bed. My throat tightened. She didn't even talk to you? Barely. She's been distant all weekend. I mean, at first I thought she was just in party mode. But Ethan, she's not acting like herself. It's like I don't even recognize her. I sat on the edge of the couch, rubbing my temple. Did she say anything about me? Tara hesitated. Not directly. But when we were out Friday night, I heard her say something to one of the bartenders. She was laughing about how she needed to forget about home for a while. Forget about home, I repeated. The phrase felt like poison in my mouth. Look, I'm not defending her. I'm just telling you what I saw. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. Thank you for being honest. I should have said something sooner, Tara admitted. I didn't want to get in the middle. You already are, I said, more bitterly than I intended. She went quiet for a moment. I know, she said finally. And I hate it. I've been her best friend since college. But this isn't who she used to be. I didn't know what to say to that. The idea that even Tara didn't recognize Brooke anymore was somehow worse than all the messages she hadn't answered. Do you think she's cheating on me? I asked, voice raw. I don't know, she whispered. But something's going on. Something she's not telling you. The room felt colder than it had a minute ago. Tara, I said slowly. Can I ask you something? Of course. Are you scared of telling me the truth? Another long silence. Yes, she said. Because I don't want to hurt you. I let that sit. We both did. For nearly a minute, we just breathed on either end of the line, caught in something neither of us knew how to name. I can take it, I said, though I wasn't sure that was true. I'd rather be hurt by the truth than protected by a lie. I know, she said quietly. I'll try to find out more. Give me time. Okay. She paused again, then added, Ethan? Yeah, I'm really sorry. You don't deserve this. There was something in her voice then. Something soft, aching. Something that felt like more than pity. I don't think she realizes what she's walking away from, she whispered. The line went quiet after that. When the call ended, I sat there for a long time, the silence wrapping around me like a second skin. Brooke hadn't just pulled away from me. She'd become a stranger. And the only person reaching into that void between us was her best friend. The friend caught between two lives. The one who wasn't supposed to say anything, but couldn't keep pretending. The one who saw the truth, because she was close enough to watch it all unravel. By Monday morning, I'd stopped expecting to hear from her. Whatever hope I'd been clinging to had withered overnight, leaving only the sharp ache of realization. Brooke didn't just need space. She wanted distance, maybe permanence. Still, every time my phone buzzed, my chest tightened, half hoping it was her. It never was. Emails, calendar alerts, a grocery reminder from 2 weeks ago. Nothing from the woman who'd once made me feel like every message mattered. I tried to keep busy. Went for a run, cleaned the kitchen, even folded the laundry she'd left half done. I kept thinking how normal the house looked, how ordinary it seemed. You could walk in and never guess the person who lived here had simply decided to vanish from her husband's life mid-flight. It was around noon when I made the mistake of opening Instagram again. I don't know why I bothered. She'd locked me out days ago. But some part of me still believed she'd come to her senses, unblock me, text me something like, "Sorry, babe, I just needed a break." Instead, the first thing I saw was a notification. Brooke added to her story. My heart kicked. I tapped it so fast my thumb slipped. There she was, laughing under a pink-orange Miami sunset, her drink catching the last light as she clinked glasses with people I didn't recognize. Music played faintly in the background, a low thump of bass and voices. The video looped once before I noticed it. A man's arm draped casually around her waist. It wasn't just a friendly arm. It was possessive. The frame only caught a glimpse. Dark skin, a watch gleaming in the light, fingers pressing lightly against the fabric of her dress. But I knew that touch. It was intimate, easy, the kind you don't do by accident. My stomach twisted. I screenshotted it before the story disappeared. For a long moment, I just sat there, staring at the frozen image. Brooke's head tilted toward the camera, her smile wide, free, like she didn't have a husband 2 states away losing sleep over her silence. I zoomed in until the pixels blurred, trying to see the man's face reflected in the glass behind them. Nothing clear, just a shadow and a flash of teeth. I sent the photo to Tara. "Me? Do you know who this is?" She didn't respond immediately. I watched the message-marked scene hang there for 5 whole minutes, each second dragging like an hour. Finally, her reply came. "Tara, it's complicated." Complicated. That word again. The one people use when they want to say it's bad, but can't bring themselves to. Me? Complicated how? No response. I paced the living room, gripping my phone so tightly it hurt. I wanted to call her, demand an answer, but I stopped myself. If Brooke really was doing what I thought she was, I needed information, not emotion. At 2:17 p.m., my phone rang. Tara. Her voice was low, shaky. "Ethan, I shouldn't even be calling. Brooke would kill me if she knew." "Then why did you?" "Because you deserve to know what's going on. I can't say everything right now." "Is she cheating on me?" Tara went quiet. I could hear faint music in the background, laughter, maybe the echo of waves. Then a door closed on her end. "She's been spending a lot of time with someone," she said finally. "Someone from her office. He's here too. I didn't even know he'd be on this trip." My pulse roared in my ears. "Who is he?" "Ethan." "Who?" "I can't," she whispered. "Not yet. But it's not just harmless flirting. They're close. Closer than they should be." I sank onto the couch, gripping the phone like it was the only thing keeping me upright. "So that's why she blocked me," I muttered. Tara didn't deny it. "She's scared," she said softly. "Of being caught. Of facing you." "Caught?" I laughed bitterly. "She's posting it on her story. How stupid does she think I am?" "She probably doesn't think you'll see it. Or maybe she wants you to." That stopped me. Why would she want that? "Guilt," Tara said. "Or maybe she wants you to give up first, so she doesn't have to be the bad guy." The thought made my skin crawl. "Tara, I need you to be honest with me. How long has this been happening?" She hesitated. "I think since before Miami. Maybe a few weeks." I exhaled slowly. "So you knew?" I suspected, she admitted. I told her she was making a mistake. She said she just needed to feel something again, whatever that means. I could feel the air thickening around me, like every word she said was adding weight to it. Ethan, I'm sorry, Tara whispered. I shouldn't be telling you this, but I can't stand seeing you left in the dark. I rubbed my face, fighting the burn in my chest. Thank you for telling me. Really, I don't know what to do. Wait until she gets home, Tara said. Let her talk first. If you go at her now, she'll just lie or shut down. You need to hear it from her. Yeah, I said, though the word tasted like ash. Before hanging up, Tara added, please don't hate her. Or me. I don't, I said, though I wasn't sure which of them I was lying to. After the call, I looked at the photo again. Brooke frozen mid-laugh, the stranger's arms snug around her waist, both of them glowing under the Miami sky. The picture wasn't just proof of betrayal, it was proof of distance. She wasn't mine anymore. Maybe she hadn't been for a while. I saved the image, locked my phone, and sat in the quiet hum of our house until evening fell. And somewhere deep down, beneath the anger and heartbreak, a single thought burned. This wasn't over. Not yet. Tara called late. Too late for it to be casual. I'd just turned off the living room lights, the house humming with quiet, when the screen lit up with her name. My thumb hovered for a second before I picked up. Tara. Ethan. Her voice was shaky. I could hear faint background noise, clinking glasses, muffled music, then the sound of a door clicking shut. I'm in the bathroom again. I didn't know who else to call. What happened? I didn't want to tell you this. I hope maybe it wasn't what I thought. But I can't lie to you anymore. My chest tightened. I braced for it. Tara inhaled sharply, then said, Brooke met someone. It's not just Miami. It's been going on for weeks. The silence that followed felt endless. Not empty, just heavy. How long? I asked, trying to keep my voice even. I think since that conference in Chicago last month. You remember that week she said the team stayed an extra day? Yeah. She didn't. Tara paused. She flew back with him. They spent the night together at a hotel downtown. She didn't come home until the next morning. The air left my lungs like I'd been punched. That week, she'd come home exhausted, kissed me on the cheek, said she was burnt out. We'd eaten takeout on the couch. I remember brushing her hair back, telling her how proud I was that she was killing it at work. God, what a fool I was. Who is he? I asked. What's his name? Tara hesitated. Someone from work. That's not an answer. I know, but I promised her I wouldn't say. She cheated on me, Tara. My voice cracked. I think the promise expired. Another long pause. It's a guy named Jordan. He works in marketing. Transferred from Austin a few months ago. They started working together on some project. Late nights. You know how it goes. Yeah, I knew exactly how it went. The office friendships that just happen. The drinks after meetings. The long texts that get longer. The laughter that becomes flirting. The spark that becomes a secret. And then, the first night. The one that's a mistake until it's not. I told her to stop, Tara said suddenly. I told her this would destroy everything. She looked me in the eye and said she didn't care anymore. I leaned against the wall, heart thudding. Didn't care about me? Didn't care about herself. Or maybe both. I don't know. She said she felt numb for months. That the only time she feels anything is when she's with him. I shut my eyes. That was the worst part. Worse than the sex. Worse than the lying. She'd stopped feeling anything for us, and I hadn't even noticed. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I whispered. I didn't want to be the one to blow it all up, Tara said. I kept thinking maybe she'd come clean. Maybe she'd wake up and realize what she was doing. But then Miami happened, and it's like she disappeared completely. She blocked me, I said. Deleted our photos. Changed her profile picture. She's not coming back from this, is she? Tara didn't answer. That told me everything. Ethan, she said, her voice soft. I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve this. I sat down slowly, like gravity had doubled. I keep thinking I missed something. That maybe I pushed her away. That I didn't see the signs. There were signs, Tara admitted. But she hid it well. You loved her. That's not a flaw. No, I said. But it feels like one now. She went quiet for a while. I could hear her breathing, maybe sitting on the cold tile of a hotel bathroom floor, holding her own guilt like a stone in her lap. I know this sounds crazy, she said, but I think part of her wanted to get caught. Posting that story, the arm around her waist, she knew what she was doing. She wanted to humiliate me? I don't think it's about you, Tara said. I think she's trying to burn everything down so she doesn't have to face herself. The line stayed silent for a few seconds. I feel like such an idiot, I murmured. You're not. You're just the one who kept believing. There was something different in her voice then. Less pity, more sadness. Solidarity. It didn't feel like I was talking to Brooke's best friend anymore. It felt like I was talking to my friend. Someone who knew the wreckage intimately, because she was standing in the middle of it with me. I don't even know what I'll say when she gets home, I admitted. How do you confront someone who already walked away? Start with the truth, Tara said. Then let her sit in it. I nodded, though my throat was too tight to speak. Just before she hung up, she added, You're not alone, Ethan. No matter what happens next. After the call, I sat there in the dark, phone in my hand, listening to the fridge hum and the clock tick. The photo of her in Miami was still open on my screen, her laughter frozen in time, the man's arm curled around her like a trophy he'd already won. Weeks. Not a one-time mistake. Not a drunken lapse. Weeks. I felt anger bubble up, but it didn't erupt. It just settled in my chest like a slow fire. Not explosive, just steady, controlled. She was still in Miami, living like I didn't exist. But when she came home, she'd have to face me. And for the first time, I wasn't afraid of that moment. I heard the front door open before I saw her. It was late, 9:42 p.m. Monday night, and the house had already started to feel like mine alone. I was in the kitchen when the click of the lock sounded, followed by the low drag of a suitcase across the entryway. I didn't move. I just waited. Brooke stepped into the living room like she hadn't vanished from my life 3 days earlier. Her hair was pulled into a casual ponytail, her skin bronzed, her lips slightly chapped from too much sun and salt. She looked incredible and completely unfamiliar. Hey, she said, her voice light, too light. She dropped her bag by the stairs and stretched. Flight was a nightmare. How are you? I stared at her. She smiled, walked over, and placed a soft kiss on my cheek like we hadn't gone to war in silence. Sorry I didn't message much, she added, stepping toward the fridge. We were nonstop. Tara said she talked to you though? I didn't answer. Just watched her move around the kitchen like she belonged here. Like this was still her home. Like she hadn't blocked me, ghosted me, lied. She poured herself a glass of water and leaned against the counter. You okay? You're quiet. I finally spoke. Did you have fun? She blinked, caught off guard. Yeah, it was wild. Tara nearly got us kicked out of a rooftop bar. You know how she gets. You blocked me. The smile dropped from her face. Her hand tightened around the glass. What? You blocked me, Brooke. You unfollowed me. You made it so I couldn't text or call you. That wasn't on purpose, she said, fumbling. I had issues with my phone. It was dying all weekend. You had enough battery to post stories. Her mouth opened, then closed. She stepped away from the counter, slowly. Ethan, I didn't mean to make you feel humiliated. I cut in. Invisible. She froze. I saw the photo, I added. The one with the guy's arm around your waist. You knew what you were doing. You posted it. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? She hesitated. He was just a friend. I stared at her. His name's Jordan, right? From marketing? That stopped her cold. She stared at me like I'd just pulled a hidden thread loose and unraveled her entire costume. Did Tara? She began. Does it matter? Brooke's voice dropped an octave. She had no right. No, I said. You had no right. She sank onto the couch, like the weight of it all had finally landed. Her fingers rubbed at her temple, her eyes flickering with panic and calculation. I kept my distance, leaning against the wall. I didn't want to be near her. Not right now. Not like this. How long? I asked. She didn't answer. How long, Brooke? She looked at the floor. Since Chicago. I let that sit in the air between us. Sharp. Final. So over a month. She nodded once. I laughed, bitterly. You came home from that trip, kissed me, and told me you missed me. Then you went back to work and slept with him again. I didn't plan for it to happen, she said quietly. That line again. I pushed off the wall, crossing the room slowly. You know what's worse than the cheating? She looked up. You let me keep loving you, I said. You let me hold on to hope while you were giving pieces of yourself to someone else. Her eyes welled with tears. Ethan, no, don't cry. You don't get to cry first. She covered her face with her hands, but I didn't move to comfort her. I waited. And then, After what felt like a lifetime, she whispered, "Did she tell you everything?" My blood chilled. What does that mean? Brooke lowered her hands slowly. Her face was flushed with shame, or maybe fear. Her voice was barely a whisper. Tara knows more than she said. What else is there? She swallowed. I didn't just meet Jordan during that work trip. It wasn't random. It had already started before then. How far back? Early August. I clenched my fists at my sides. So, nearly 2 months. While you were here, sleeping next to me, laughing at my dumb jokes. You were already with him. She nodded slowly, as if she were confessing to someone on a witness stand. I thought it was harmless at first. I thought it was just emotional. But then you crossed the line. She didn't argue. I took a step back. I needed air. I needed anything but this. I thought you loved me, I said, my voice cracking. She wiped her eyes. I don't know what I feel anymore. That broke something in me. Not the affair. Not even the lies. It was that. The casual confession that love was now some distant, foggy concept she couldn't locate anymore. I nodded slowly, then turned toward the stairs. Where are you going? She asked. To sleep. In our bed. No, I said. That's your bed now. She stood, eyes wide. Ethan, please. Don't. I stopped halfway up the stairs, looking down at her. You had your space. Now I need mine. She opened her mouth to speak again, but I didn't wait. I went upstairs, closed the guest room door behind me, and locked it. For the first time in weeks, the silence felt like mine. The next morning, the house felt like a museum. Quiet. Sterile. Frozen in time. I could hear her downstairs, dishes clinking, the occasional creak of a cabinet. But there was no music, no humming, none of the small Brooke-isms that once made this house feel alive. We moved like ghosts, avoiding each other's orbit. I stayed in the guest room. Didn't shower. Didn't eat. I just sat on the edge of the bed and replayed every moment of the night before, over and over, like a cruel movie I couldn't turn off. She admitted it. She didn't cry for forgiveness. She didn't fall to her knees. She just admitted it, like it was overdue homework. By noon, my phone buzzed. Tara. I hesitated, then picked up. Hey, she said softly. You okay? No, I replied. But I'm awake. So that's something. There was a long pause on her end. I could hear her breathing, steady and soft. She told me. I added. All of it. Tara exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for hours. I figured. She texted me at like 3 in the morning. What did she say? That she hates me. That I betrayed her. That I took everything from her. I scoffed. Everything. She thinks I've been trying to sabotage her for months, Tara continued. I think part of her believes that me telling you was personal. Was it? That question hung in the air longer than either of us expected. No, she said finally. It wasn't supposed to be. I was just trying to do the right thing. But it's more complicated than that, isn't it? Tara didn't answer at first. And when she did, her voice was so low I almost didn't catch it. Yeah, she admitted. And that was the moment something shifted. It wasn't about just Brooke anymore. It was about us. Whatever us was starting to mean. You know, I said. Brooke made me feel like I was crazy. For months. I'd ask her what was wrong, and she'd laugh it off. I told her I missed her, and she acted like I was being needy. I kept blaming myself. You weren't wrong, Tara said firmly. She just didn't want to be caught. I ran a hand through my hair. I feel like I've been drowning in my own house. I hate that I helped her keep it quiet, she whispered. I should have told you sooner. But you didn't. I didn't want to lose her. But you did anyway, I said. Now we both have. We sat in that truth together. It wasn't vindictive or angry. It was just empty. A quiet, shared grief. Do you hate me? She asked after a while. No, I said. I think you're the only one who actually told me the truth. I heard a sniffle, soft and fast. I keep thinking, if I'd just said something earlier, maybe nothing. I cut in gently. She made her choice. Another pause. Ethan, she said, her voice wobbling. Yeah. Can I come by? Just to talk? I didn't answer right away. I looked around the room. The guest bed with its cold, crisp sheets. The folded laundry still stacked on the chair. The silence pressing in from all sides. Yeah, I said. Yeah, you can. She arrived 30 minutes later. No makeup. Hair up. Hoodie and jeans. She looked nothing like the polished, party girl version of herself I imagined from Miami. She looked like someone who hadn't slept either. I let her in, and we sat on the porch. The autumn air was sharp, the kind that made your breath visible. We didn't speak for the first few minutes. Just sipped coffee and watched the trees sway like they were trying to distract us. She told me I was jealous, Tara said, breaking the silence. Of what? You. Her life. The fact that you loved her so much. Were you? I asked. Tara smiled faintly. Sometimes. But not like she meant. I wasn't jealous of having you. I was jealous of being loved like that. I looked over at her, and she didn't look away. There was something different in her eyes. Not pity. Not guilt. It was closer to grief. I tried so hard to make her see what she had, she continued. But she just shut down. She told me she doesn't know what she feels anymore, I said. Tara nodded. That sounds like her. I turned my coffee cup slowly between my hands. And what about you? What about me? How do you feel? The air shifted. I felt it between us. Tight, electric, cautious. I feel like I betrayed both of you, she said finally. But mostly, I feel like I don't know where to stand anymore. I looked at her, really looked at her. She wasn't the villain. She wasn't the hero either. She was just as lost in the wreckage as I was. I don't blame you, I said. You did what she never had the courage to do. You told me the truth. She blinked fast, holding something back. I just didn't want you to feel alone. I haven't since you called. She looked down, then back at me. Ethan, this probably isn't the right time or the right thing to say, but say it anyway. I was scared to tell you because I care about you, not just as her friend, as you. Those words landed like a slow storm, quiet, but impossible to ignore. I didn't know what to say. I just looked at her, our knees almost touching, hearts beating in separate rhythms that somehow started sinking. We didn't kiss. We didn't touch. But something passed between us in that moment, something unspoken and undeniable. I should go, she said quickly, standing up. You don't have to. Yes, I do, she said. Because if I stay, I might say something we both can't take back. I stood too. And if you come back? Tara paused at the door, hand on the frame. Then maybe we'll talk about what comes next. And then she was gone, leaving me on the porch with the echo of words I never expected to hear, and the terrifying comfort of knowing I wasn't entirely broken. Not yet. I hadn't seen Tara in 3 days. Not since she stood at my door with her heart half in her mouth, telling me she cared about me, not as Brooke's husband, but as me. I hadn't texted. She hadn't either. I told myself the silence was space. Necessary. Safe. But the truth was, every minute ticked like a question. What do we do now? Brooke had stayed away too. After our confrontation, she packed a bag and left without a word. I didn't ask where she was going. I didn't ask when she'd be back. She didn't know me answers anymore, and I wasn't going to beg for closure she couldn't give. It was Friday when Tara finally messaged. Tara, you home? Me? Yeah. Tara, can I stop by? Just for a bit. Me? Of course. It was dark by the time she arrived. She had a bottle of red wine tucked under one arm and a half-apologetic smile when I opened the door. You said just for a bit, I teased, stepping aside. Bit of wine, she said, holding it up. Bit of company. Nothing illegal. Yet. We laughed, too loud, too quickly. Nervous energy. That thing that hangs between two people who haven't crossed a line, but are starting to forget where it is. She stepped inside, and the house felt different. Not because she'd changed anything, just because she was here. And I realized how long it had been since someone had walked into this space and made it feel less like a tomb. We sat on the couch, shoes off, wine in hand, a playlist humming low in the background. Not romantic. Not yet. Just soft. I've been thinking about that day, she said after a while. So have I. She looked at me, uncertain. Do you regret letting me in? Do you? She didn't answer. Just took another sip of wine and turned to me. It's hard, she said. Because she was my best friend. And you were hers. I never expected to feel anything for you beyond that. And now, she set her glass down. Now I'm trying not to. The quiet between us pulsed. I didn't reach for her. I didn't move. But I wanted to. Not because I was angry. Not because I wanted revenge. Because for the first time in months, someone looked at me like I existed again. Tara leaned back on the couch, legs folded beneath her, hoodie slipping off one shoulder. Her eyes flicked to mine, then away. The air between us tightened. Tell me to leave, she said, barely above a whisper. Why would I do that? Because this isn't fair, she said. To her. To you. To me. She made her choices. So did I. I watched her hands fidget in her lap. She was anxious, but not uncertain. Tara, I said, you didn't ruin anything. You didn't break us. That was already done before you said a word. Her eyes met mine again. This time, she didn't look away. I keep replaying every time she talked about you, Tara said. Every time she brushed you off. And I knew she was taking you for granted. I just didn't expect to care. She moved closer without meaning to. Our knees touched. Neither of us flinched. Do you think this is wrong? I asked. She nodded slowly. I think it feels too right, too fast. I breathed out, tension crawling up my spine. I don't know what this is yet. Me neither. But I know it's not about revenge. No, she said. It's not. The silence between us was loud with possibility. My hand hovered inches from hers. I didn't grab it. I didn't push. She reached for me first. Fingers brushed fingers. A soft, almost nervous touch. But it held. Her palm pressed into mine, and we just stayed like that. I don't want to ruin you, she said quietly. You're not. I don't want to become what she was. You couldn't, I said. And then I leaned in, slow, cautious, like asking a question with my breath. She met me halfway. The kiss wasn't explosive. It wasn't hungry. It was careful, reverent. A moment wrapped in grief and warmth and trembling hands. She pulled back first, eyes wide. We shouldn't. Then we won't, I said. Not tonight. She nodded, tears pricking the corners of her eyes. But thank you, I added. For what? For seeing me. She curled into my side like it was instinct, her head on my shoulder, our hands still woven together. We didn't speak after that. We didn't need to. The moment wasn't about sex. It wasn't about betrayal. It was about something two people rarely find in the rubble of someone else's lies, clarity. By midnight, she left. Not in shame, not in guilt, just in understanding. And when the door closed behind her, I didn't feel like I'd crossed a line. I felt like I'd found something worth stepping toward. She found out faster than I expected. I thought we had more time, Tara and I. I thought we could navigate the quiet space between betrayal and something new without the chaos catching up so quickly. But Brooke never liked being out of control, and the second she sensed the shift, she came back swinging. It started with a voicemail. I woke up to it, 7:12 a.m. 3 minutes long. Her voice, venom-laced and panicked, trembled through my phone speaker. You took everything from me, she spat. You and her. You didn't even wait. You couldn't wait. She was crying, screaming, accusing. You think this makes you better than me? That you're some noble man because you waited 2 weeks before jumping into bed with my best friend? I didn't respond. I didn't have to. Because I knew exactly what she was trying to do. Twist the truth, rewrite the timeline, recast herself as the victim in a story she authored in silence and secrets. I deleted the voicemail and got dressed. An hour later, Tara called. She knows, she said flatly. I figured. She called me at 3 a.m. Accused me of plotting this for months. Said I seduced her husband just to hurt her. I sighed. Classic Brooke. She can sleep with someone for weeks, but the moment she loses control of the narrative, we're the villains. Tara didn't answer right away. When she did, her voice cracked. I knew it would get ugly, but not this fast. She's spiraling, I said. She's not angry because of what we did. She's angry because we didn't need her anymore. Another pause. Then, she said she's going to make us pay. How? She didn't say, just that we'd regret it. I leaned against the kitchen counter, the weight of everything pressing into my chest. Let her talk. She has nothing left to take from me. I'm sorry, Tara whispered. This is my fault. It's not. If I hadn't come over. Tara, stop. My voice was firm now. What happened between us wasn't a mistake. She went quiet. I could almost hear the wheels spinning in her head, the guilt building. Do you believe that? She asked. Yes, I said. Do you? She hesitated. I want to. And that was enough for now. Later that day, Brooke showed up. She didn't knock. She didn't text. Just walked through the door like she still had a key to this life. I was on the couch. She stormed in with fire in her eyes, hair wild, phone in hand. You and Tara? She snapped. Seriously? Morning to you, too. Don't you dare be smug. I want to hear it from you. Did you sleep with her? I stood, slow and calm. No. That stunned her for a beat. We kissed, I said. That's all. And it didn't happen until after you told me about Jordan. After you walked out. After you made it perfectly clear you didn't love me anymore. Her mouth opened, then closed. I wasn't looking for it, I added. But I won't apologize for it either. You're disgusting, she said. You're pathetic. I stepped closer, not to intimidate, but to stop her from running away from what she had done. You slept with someone for 2 months, Brooke. You looked me in the eyes, night after night, and lied. You let me love you while you handed pieces of yourself to someone else. And now you're mad because I let someone see me? You think I don't feel guilt? I think you feel exposed. She flinched. You ruined this marriage, I said, voice steady. You set it on fire. Tara didn't push you into his bed. I didn't drive you into his arms. You made that choice. Alone. Her face crumpled, anger giving way to something that looked like grief. Or maybe regret. It was hard to tell. I was lonely, she said. I was lost. And you never told me. Because I didn't think you'd hear me. I would have, Brooke. I wanted to. But instead, you chose silence. And now you're mad because I finally stopped waiting for a message that was never coming. She didn't respond. Just stood there, breathing hard, hands clenched at her sides. I'm filing, I said quietly. This week. Her eyes shot to mine. It's done, I added. We both know it. Brooke looked around the room like she was searching for something. An anchor, a way out, a second chance. But there wasn't one. Not anymore. She wiped her face quickly, sniffling. You'll regret this. I already regret staying as long as I did. Her lip trembled, but she didn't speak again. She turned, grabbed her bag from the doorway, and walked out. She didn't slam the door. She didn't look back. I stood in the silence she left behind, feeling more clarity than I had in months. Brooke's betrayal had broken me. But her rage, her inability to accept that someone else had stepped into the space she abandoned, that proved one thing beyond all doubt. She never thought I'd move on. And now that I had, even just a step, it terrified her. Later that night, Tara texted. Tara, did she come? Me, yes. Tara, are you okay? Me, yeah. For the first time in a while. I think I am. She didn't reply right away. But when she did, it wasn't words. It was a single photo, sunlight streaming through her window, her legs curled on a blanket, a book open in her lap. Home. Still. Quiet. And beneath it, Tara, if you need peace, there's space for you here. I stared at the message for a long time, then typed back. Me, I might take you up on that. And I meant it. Brooke didn't go quietly. I didn't expect her to, not really. After the fight, after the voicemail, after the door slammed and her threats echoed into the silence, I knew it wouldn't be the end. She still had one more weapon left. Reputation. It started small, passive-aggressive posts on social media. Cryptic quotes about betrayal. Thinly veiled captions about those who pretend to care, and losing a best friend and a husband in one breath. At first, I ignored it. Then came the DMs. My cousin messaged, Hey, is everything okay? Brooke posted something kind of intense. A mutual friend sent a screenshot of a tweet. It's always the quiet ones who cheat back. It was juvenile. Sloppy. But it was working. People were talking. And I'd had enough. I called Tara. She's turning this into a show. I know, she sighed. I got a message from her sister. Said I was a man-stealer and a garbage person. She wants us to feel guilty, I said. She wants to control the story. Tara was quiet for a beat. So what do? We tell the truth. There was a pause. Are you sure? Yeah. No more hiding. I'm done letting her dictate what this is. Later that day, I posted one thing. Just one. A black and white photo of the beach at night. Wind across the sand. Calm. Still. Caption. The version of the story you heard isn't the truth. But it's the one she needs to believe. I'm okay with that. I just want peace. I didn't name her. Didn't attack. But it was enough. An hour later, she called. I saw your post, she said flatly. I figured. You're trying to make me look crazy. No, I said calmly. You're doing that on your own. She was silent, breathing hard. I didn't lie. I continued. I didn't cheat. And I didn't drag your name through the dirt, even when you deserved it. I could have said everything. But I didn't. Because I'm not like you. You think people care about your sad little truth? She snapped. You think they'll pick your side? There are no sides, I said. Not anymore. There's just the wreckage you left and what I build from it. She didn't speak again, just hung up. I stood there, staring at the dead line on my phone, and felt the last string between us finally break. That night, I drove. No destination, no plan, just the need to feel the road under me, to chase silence through the city. And somehow, I ended up outside Tara's apartment. I sat in my car for a minute before texting her. I'm outside. No pressure. Seconds later, her front door opened. She wore a hoodie, no makeup, hair tied back, soft, undone, real. I stepped out, heart in my throat. She didn't say anything, just looked at me for a long moment, then stepped aside to let me in. We didn't talk much, just sat on the couch. A movie played in the background, muted. She brought me tea. I didn't drink it. Finally, I broke the silence. She's trying to make you the villain. Tara shrugged. I've been the villain before. You didn't deserve it this time. I let it happen, she said. I knew what it would look like. But it's not about what it looks like. She looked at me. Then what is it about? I took a breath. It's about who stayed. That landed between us. Not heavy, just honest. I don't know what this is, I added. Us. I'm not going to pretend I'm healed. But I know this feels real. Tara nodded. It does. I want to try, I said. But only if you're okay with being seen. With people whispering. With judgment. She reached across the couch, took my hand in hers. Let them whisper. I leaned in. This time, she met me halfway again. The kiss wasn't hesitant now. It was grounded, not in lust, not in revenge, but in something real. Something scarred, but growing. When we pulled apart, I said, Brooke's going to keep coming. I know. She'll try to twist everything. She already has. But I'm not hiding anymore. Tara smiled softly. Good. Because I want to be with someone who stands beside me, not behind closed doors. We spent the night on the couch, not tangled in sheets or bodies, just wrapped in a blanket, holding on to the first thing in months that didn't feel like a lie. The next morning, we made breakfast together. Small things. Eggs. Toast. No big declarations. No promises. Just two people standing side by side in a quiet kitchen, finally making choices for themselves. Later, I posted again. A picture of the same beach. This time, with 2 coffee cups in the sand. No caption. I didn't need one. Because sometimes, the loudest signal isn't what you say. It's who sits beside you when the storm ends. It had been 3 weeks since the last time I heard Brooke's voice. 3 weeks since she'd called me in a storm of rage. 3 weeks since her posts stopped, her attacks faded, her shadow finally lifted off my life. And in those weeks, I didn't go looking for updates. I didn't stalk her socials. I didn't ask around. Letting go, it turns out, was more quiet than I expected. It didn't feel like breaking glass. It felt like turning the volume down on a song I never liked in the first place. Now, I was driving down the coast highway, windows cracked, sun soft on my face. The same stretch of road she posted from, that rooftop bar in Miami, with strangers, with laughter that wasn't for me. Back then, that story had gutted me. Now, I barely thought about it. Not because it didn't hurt, but because I'd finally stopped asking questions that had no real answers. Tara was already waiting at the beach when I got there. She stood barefoot in the sand, jeans rolled up to her calves, arms wrapped loosely around herself like she wasn't sure what to do with them. When she saw me, she smiled, tired but warm, like we'd both survived something and finally stepped out into light. Thought you'd changed your mind, she said as I approached. I did, I replied. 100 times. But I came anyway. She gave a soft laugh, then pointed toward a small dune. I found a spot. We walked together. Quiet. The waves rolled in lazy and calm, wind tugging at our sleeves. She handed me a coffee when we Saturday hazelnut. I remembered. I nodded. Thanks. For a while, we said nothing. Just listened to the ocean. The sun was low, casting everything in gold. The tide crept closer. Then, she asked the question I think we'd both been avoiding. Do you ever wish you didn't know? I turned to her, searching her eyes. She wasn't being dramatic. Just honest. There'd been so many versions of this story that could have played out. The one where I stayed blind. The one where I found out too late. The one where I forgave her out of fear. But none of those would have brought me here. No, I said. If I didn't know, I'd still be waiting for a message that was never coming. She looked down, nodding. I've thought about that a lot. How long she might have let it go on if I hadn't said something. You gave me the one thing she wouldn't, I said. The truth. She smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. I was scared you'd hate me, she said. That you'd look at me and only see what I cost you. You didn't cost me anything, I said. You gave me back me. That hung in the air for a moment. Not a declaration, not a promise, just a shared truth. I don't know what happens next, she said, fingers curled around her coffee. Me neither. But I don't want to go back to pretending we're strangers. We're not. She looked at me, and this time, the smile was real. We stayed on the beach until the sky turned lavender and the waves kissed our toes. She leaned against me, her head on my shoulder, both of us watching the tide roll in. It wasn't perfect. There was still baggage, still noise in the distance. But here, in this small corner of the world where no one else's voice mattered, I felt something I hadn't in months. Stillness. Later, I took out my phone and snapped a photo. Just the horizon. The water. Her hand wrapped loosely around mine. No filters. No captions. Just a signal. Not for Brooke. Not for anyone else watching from a distance. For us.